Hello students, good morning to all. In the last class, we have discussed about the requirements of ideal permanent way and the elements of permanent way. So in this class, we are going to discuss about the continuation of elements of permanent way. So what are the elements of permanent way? Rails, sleepers, ballast, formation, rail fixtures and fastenings. So in the last class, we have discussed about rails. So in this class, we are going to discuss about the other components of railway track. So first one is the sleeper. So what is sleeper? So sleeper is the transfer support. Sleeper is the transfer support for a railway to give stiffness to it. So the sleepers are always laid in the transverse direction, but these rails are laid in a longitudinal direction. So what are the functions of these sleepers? So the sleepers hold the rails to correct gauge. So in correct distance, the sleepers hold the rails to the correct gauge and it gives us support to the rails also. And the sleepers distributes the axle load to the ballast. This sleepers distributes the load to the ballast. So next, it acts as a elastic medium between the rails and ballast to absorb vibration. So what is the property of elasticity? So if a load acts on a material, it goes to another position, and after the load is removed, it comes to its original position. That is the property of elasticity. So this sleepers act as a elastic medium between the rails and ballast to absorb the vibration. Then to maintain the alignment of the track also the sleepers is used. And to provide insulation for electrified track, these sleepers are used. It will not conduct electricity, it acts as a insulator for electrified track. So what are the classification of sleepers? So depending upon the material, the sleepers can be divided into the following categories. That is wooden sleepers, steel sleepers, cast iron sleepers, concrete sleepers. Let's see one by one. Wooden sleepers. Wooden sleepers are the ideal type of the sleeper. It is considered to be the perfect sleeper. Hence, they are universally used. Teak wood is the best sleeper, but the cost is very high. So nowadays they are using the sawwood, which is cheaper than teak wood. Deodar, fir, and cher wood also used based on the availability. Nowadays, the usage of wooden sleeper is eradicated by the use of pre-stressed concrete sleepers. This wooden sleeper is useful for heavy loads and high speeds. The service life, that is the lifespan of this sleeper is 10 to 14 years for untreated timber and 16 to 22 for treated timber. So what is treated timber and untreated timber? Treated timber means the timber is treated by the preservatives. Untreated timber means the timber is not treated by any preservatives. So if the timber is treated by the preservative, that is zinc chloride, the process is known as burnettizing. And if the timber is treated by the preservative, bichloride of mercury salt solution, bichloride of mercury salt solution, then the process is known as Kyansing. So what is bridge sleepers? So while providing sleeper in the bridges, some requirements are, we have to consider some requirements. What is means minimum depth. So minimum depth of this sleeper is, that is minimum height of the sleeper is 150 mm for broad gauge, 125 mm for meter gauge and 125 mm for narrow gauge. You all know what is gauge. Gauge is the distance between the two rails, inner faces of the rails. So what are the types of gauges means, in India there are three different types of gauges are there. That is, one is broad gauge, meter gauge and narrow gauge. So broad gauge is 1676 mm, meter gauge is 1000 mm, and the narrow gauge is 762 mm and 610 mm. So if in meter, broad gauge is 1.676 meter, meter gauge is 1 meter, and narrow gauge is 0.762 meter. This narrow gauge is mostly used in hilly areas. So these are the different types of gauges. So bridge sleeper. So in bridge sleeper, the minimum depth of this sleeper is 150 mm for broad gauge, 125 mm for meter gauge, and 125 mm for narrow gauge. Then minimum length of this sleeper is 240 centimeter for broad gauge, 160 centimeter for meter gauge. Then maximum space between two sleepers is the sleeper and this sleeper. Maximum space between sleeper is 500 mm for broad gauge, 300 mm for meter gauge, 250 mm for narrow gauge. So what is this composite sleeper index? This composite sleeper index is the abbreviation form of CSI. So this CSI is nothing but it helps in arranging the various species of timber in order of their suitability for use as a sleeper. So for what purpose they are using this composite sleeper index means, so it for arranging the timber in an index page. So first in the index page, what will we do? We will arrange the first unit 1 in the first page and unit 2, like that we will continue the topics. So this composite sleeper index is also helps in arranging the various pieces of timber in order of their suitability for use as a sleeper. So this chair has the composite sleeper index as 54. This deodar has the composite sleeper index as 63. And this fur has the composite sleeper index as 58. And this saw has the composite sleeper index as 112. And this teak has the composite sleeper as 82. Then what are the advantages of these wooden sleepers? So the wooden sleepers are easy to manufacture and it is useful for heavy loads and high speeds, and it is easy to handle without damage, and they are more suitable for soft formations, that's soft subgrade. Then they absorb shocks and vibrations better than other types of sleepers. Then what are the disadvantages? So this wooden sleepers are liable to attack by vermin as well as weather. So hence their life is lesser than their type of sleepers. Other type of sleepers, when compared to other type of sleepers, its life is lesser. Then they are susceptible to fire. The maintenance cost also high in comparison to other types of sleepers. Their useful life is short and between 12 to 15 years. These are the disadvantages of wooden sleepers. So next type is steel sleepers. Due to the increasing shortage of timber in the country and other economical factors, nowadays they are using the steel sleepers and concrete sleepers on railways. So what are the advantages of these steel sleepers? So this steel sleepers are more durable. Durable means lifespan is more. Its lifespan is about 35 years. Then lesser damage during handling as well as during transporting. Easy to manufacture also. It is not susceptible to vermin attack. Then it is not susceptible to fire, and its scrap value is very good. Scrap value means after damaging also we can sell and reuse it. Disadvantages: it is liable to corrosion, it cracks at rail seats developed during the service, and the fittings records are greater in number. These are the disadvantages of steel sleeper. Next type is concrete sleeper. These concrete ties have become more commonly mainly due to greater economy and shortage of timber. So this concrete sleeper also have some advantages. It is more durable, having greater life. It is also economical as compared to wood and steel. It is easy to manufacture. It is not susceptible to vermin attack and it is not susceptible to fire. The disadvantage is it is brittle. Brittle means it will break and it cracks without warning. It cannot be repaired and it required replacement. The fittings records are greater in number as like steel sleepers. Then what is sleeper density? So sleeper density means number of sleepers required per rail length. So for constructing the railway track, the rail length of the railway track is standard length is 13 meter. So for connecting these rails, what they do is they will connect by use of fish plates. So number of sleepers required per rail length is called sleeper density. That is number of sleepers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 like that. Number of sleepers required per rail length. Per rail length means 13-meter rail length. How much sleepers are required? That is known as sleeper density. So the sleeper density is indicated by the formula n plus x. So what is n means? The length of the rail in meters. So x is the number of sleepers. So example, for a standard 13-meter broad gauge rail, m plus 7 is the density, would be 20 sleepers per line, the rail length. That is 13 plus number of sleepers, 7 is equal to 20, that is the sleeper index. So next component of the railway track is ballast. So what is ballast? So this is the coarse aggregate, broken stone, gravel or any other suitable materials is considered as the ballast. So what is the use of this ballast? This ballast transmits the load to the formation, that is to the subgrade or to the ground. That is called ballast. So what are the functions of ballast? So it provides a suitable foundation for the railway track or for the sleepers. And it transfers and distributes the load to the formation. It provides effective drainage to the track also. It helps in protecting the top surface of the formation. These are the functions of ballast. Then, what are the physical properties of good ballast? This ballast should be hard and tough and it should be wear resistance as well as it should be durable and it should be non-porous. It should not allow water to pass through it. That is porosity. It should not absorbent of water. It should be cheaper and easily available. It should not be brittle. It should not allow rainwater to acclimate. These are the properties of good ballast. What are the types of ballast? Following materials can be used as ballast, that is broken stone, gravel, cinders or axes, sand, brick ballast, kangar. Let's see one by one. The first one is broken stone. So it is the best material to be used as the ballast. So this broken stone is mostly used on all important tracks. This is the blast of igneous rock. Next is the gravel. So the second suitability of ballast is the gravel. So it is used in large quantity in many countries. So it is obtained from the riverbeds. So broken stone is obtained from the igneous rocks, but this gravel is obtained from the riverbeds. Now, cinders or axes. So the residue obtained from the coal used in locomotives is known as cinder or axe. Locomotive means in trains or engines. So the residue obtained from the coal used in locomotive is known as cinder or axe. So they are cheap and easy available. They are harmful for steel sleepers. Sand. So it stands fourth in merits as ballast material. So coarse sand is better than fine sand. So what is coarse sand and what is fine sand? If the size, that is grain size, is between 2 to 4.75 mm, that sand is known as coarse sand. If the size, that is grain size, is between 0.075 to 0.425 mm, that sand is known as fine sand. This sand has good drainage property but blown off due to light weight. Brick ballast. Where stone or other suitable ballast is not available, they will use the overband brick ballast. Overband brick is used as the ballast. So this brick ballast is used in light traffic areas. Cangur, it is found in the form of particles of varying sizes. Where stone is not easily available in which places, in that places they are using cangur as the road material and ballast for railway tracks. So next component is formation. So the surface prepared to receive the ballast, rails, sleepers, etc. And for constructing the railway track is called formation or subgrade, or it is the simply we can say it is the foundation of the railway track. So function of formation. What is the functions of the formations? So it provides a smooth and uniform bed where the track is laid, and also it bears the entire load transmitted from the moving loads to it through the ballast. It provides drainage facilities also. It provides stability to the track. Then what are the design aspects of this formation? So the width of the formation depends upon the number of tracks. Now how many tracks we are laying on the train that area, that number of tracks is the width of the formation is depend upon that number of tracks. Then cage of the track. Cage means the distance between the rails. Then width of the ballast layer. How much width you are providing the ballast layer. Then width of the drains. So based on this only the width of the formation will be constructed. Then what is height? Height of the formation is depend upon the topography of the alignment and the gradients. Gradients means slope and topography means nature of the ground. So the side slopes of the formation is depend upon the characteristics of the soil as well as the strength of the shear strength of the soil. So in this class, we have discussed about components such as sleepers, ballast and formation. Next class, we will continue joints and fastenings. Thank you.